going on, YouTube land? This is going to be a continuation video of like the whole speaker installation that I did, because if you can remember, or if you watched or whatever, I'd done the door speakers, which were 6x9 woofers, but I never installed the tweeters, and that's what we're going to go ahead and do today. So currently what I've got out, I've got a couple little bits, my little tweeter, the little mounting plate, a little screw for this guy right here, and then our little box. So I'll show you guys what I did with the driver's side really quick. I've kind of ran into an issue that I'm probably going to be trying to mend here soon. I just haven't figured out what I'm going to do just yet. But anyways, so there it is mounted up. I could only find one screw to go in there, funnily enough, right? So I just hulked the crap out of it. So it, you know, for a little screw anyways. So that's in place. It sounds freaking awesome. Let me move this whole contraption. So you can see what I've done here. This is the aftermarket little harness adapter that was given to me by Crutchfield, or that I purchased from Crutchfield. And right here, we've got our, I know it's a rat's nest, but this is our in. So going to the connector right there is going to our in. If this will focus, come on, whatevs. That's our in anyways. And this is our tweeter. This tape right here identifies the negative side. And then this is our woofer. So that's going to the actual remainder of the harness that plugs up to the OE harness. So yeah, pretty simple install. What I'm gonna do, or what I did and what I will do for this other one is, this is where I made my connections. I'm just gonna clip this guy and do the exact same thing right there for the passenger side. But let me show you guys real quick what I'm dealing with as far as fitment for this back panel right here. Okay, so when I put the panel in, it is totally contacting this top part. And I'm gonna show you guys really quick what I did to make this work, and actually stay in place and all that other jazz. So I'm trying to come up with a solution here without trying to modify any of my factory parts. I'm really against that. So the first thing I did is I took my little bit, which is a 5/64, and put a little pilot hole in that guy. And then I've got my little screw, and I'm just gonna put this guy right there and then screw this in place. Once I screw this in, I leave this just somewhat loose so that I can twist this around. Because what I'm actually gonna be doing, I'm gonna use this little bit size, and I'm gonna put a few pilot holes in this top area right here so that I can then identify like the arc I'm gonna follow, because these still have to be fed through this bottom plate. And then eventually what will happen is I'll upsize my bit, and then it will have like a whole entire little arc that the wires can feed through, and then this can be fully seated in place. Got these little holes drilled. And the reason why, like I said, I leave this loose so that I can move this guy around and then put a couple pilot holes. I'm gonna take this screw out, and then, like I said, I'll be putting a larger bit on, and then it will just, I'll just continue to enlarge in these holes so that I can feed these wires through there. So this is pretty much what the finished product looks like. Obviously not perfect because I'm using a drill bit. So I went all the way from a 5/64 up to a 3, wow, this bit set sucks, 3/16, right? So not perfect, but less is more. You really don't need to do a whole lot to make it look good. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, this is going to be hidden. And this is just going to be so that I can feed these wires through here. This is what it looks like now. It's totally screwed in. And these little, like, I don't even know what to call them. They have little keyways, the little mounting base for the tweeter. So that's how the wire looks fed through there. I think it worked out pretty well. You guys let me know what you think. Yeah, less is more. The less material you can take away, the better. And then it being plastic, like, you got to be nice to it. I'd recommend, for the most part, like, using hand tools whenever you're screwing this stuff, because you can over tighten it and then just the plastic's done, and then yada yada yada. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is, I've got my little ends right here, my positive and my negative. I like having these because instead of having to like clip these and then use like a splice to connect to the speaker wire and then run the speaker wire to this little block, I've now essentially, I mean, these are not quick disconnect because they're kind of a bitch. But I've got these little guys and I can disconnect these anytime for, like I said, whenever, like, if I decide to modify these, because I might need to do something in order to make these fit underneath that that speaker cover, that OE speaker cover from Dodge. Like, I don't want to modify that. I'd much rather modify this. So anyways, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clip these down and I'm going to put a splice on them. And then I've got my speaker wire, which I need to go find. And I'm going to put a splice on those and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is what it looks like before I'm about to route these wires. I know I should use a heat gun. I'm a terrible person. Use a heat gun, don't use a lighter. Anyways, this is what it looks like before it goes in. This is how I'm going to route it. I put this green tape for the negative. What I've done here now, you can see it won't focus. Anyways, this is the wiring colors for my year of RAM. And the right front is gray and yellow, or for the positive, and the right front for the negative is gray and light blue. Come over here, look at this connector. This is our gray and light blue, and here's our gray and light yellow, which are right next to the left front wires. So we come over here and we've got our gray and black and our solid gray. So I'm going to go ahead and clip these wires. So there they are clipped. I thought about clipping them with the camera rolling. So it could be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like dramatic. But if I missed and I clipped another one of these wires, I would be really butthurt. So it's just not worth it. So now I'm going to just strip this right here and do the same thing for this new little box that I did on this box. Something that I'd recommend too with these little boxes. I don't know how they all are, but I'll tell you right now, this one from Infinity, these little screws were freaking tight, and I hadn't loosened them up on this guy until actually putting it in here. And I don't know, I would recommend doing it off the truck or off your vehicle without these wires installed, because like you could potentially stress something and blah blah blah. You can see from my center console panel, this has already broken. So now we're super delicate. That's why I'm sitting in the jump seat so I can support this guy. I've had this thing tear through, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm gonna strip these and then put them in, and then we're gonna route the front right tweeter. We've got this wired up now. This is just for our woofer so far for the door. Let me go ahead and get that routed. I already pulled out the glove box, obviously to make things a whole lot easier. Everything is routed for this. One thing I would definitely recommend for the passenger side, it wasn't that big of a deal on the driver's side, is to route it from here. That speaker is in, that speaker is in. I'm gonna go ahead and tuck this freaking rat's nest back here. Plug everything back up to my head unit down there, and yeah, so everything is back together. I gotta say, holy shit, I should have done all of this at the exact same time that I did the door speakers, because honestly I was extremely let down. It was a major improvement over the original speakers, but I think when you have just paper, anything can be an improvement. Like the speakers were paper. That's what I'm getting at, right? This band's badass, by the way. Y'all should check them out. Yeah, massive improvement. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna have to tackle is verifying fitment with the cover. I may end up taking a little bit out of the OEM factory cover. I might. I don't want to, but I might do it. Unfortunately, this is something I really did not want to do. I did not want to make any permanent modifications to any of like my OEM Dodge stuff, but unfortunately that's going to happen. And I'm even more committed now because of the quality of the sound system now. Just kind of shocking, honestly, how much of a difference it makes. And I have to listen to music. So anyways, I am going to take a little bit away from these little covers right here. I'm holding my baby, so got to do it one-handed. He's going to help me point to that other one. There you go. Good job. I'm going to cut that a little bit, just a touch, and I'm going to cut this one just a touch. I'm going to try to keep it as centered as possible and then cut the least amount of little fins as I can and keep it somewhat circular. I'm not guaranteeing that it's going to be beautiful because I am going to be using a set of dikes. This is the final product. I am not like super happy with it, but it's going to work for now. Again, I did not want to do any permanent modification to my truck, and here I am. This side doesn't look so beautiful. This side looks better. It is what it is. I just want to be able to have a nice sound system. So this definitely got me there at the sacrifice of my OEM dash. And I just kind of, it just looks ugly, but whatever, it works. So, if you got a better way of installing this, I would suggest doing that. Yeah, you guys take care. Thanks for watching.